we are going to talk about, let's say, the digital twin of soil plant system. The reason behind this digital twin of soil plant system is based on the fact, let's say, our society, also ecosystem are affected by the consecutive drought in the past few years, as you can see already in the Netherlands and many places in Europe.
Okay, can you start explaining what is a soil plant system?
For example, when there are lack of rainfall and you have a very drought or dried situation, the plant will stop, let's say, photosynthesis processes and reduce the productivity, for example. And as such, you want to know what is happening there, right? So we know plant have roots in the soil. Then you basically not only looking at plant, but also looking at the root and the interaction between soil and the root, because that is where the water is uptake by root and then supplied to the plant for evapotranspiration. But at the same time, you have this carbon uptake. So to understand that process, you really need a soil plant digital twin to understand how the water is transported from the soil to the plant and then to the atmosphere, but also how the plant uptake the carbon. So in that sense, but at the same time, you also want to know how can I observe all these processes? Yeah. So you have the soil processes, you have the photosynthetic activities, but then how can we visualize everything from this space? For example, utilizing Earth observation observables.
Okay. Just a short explanation. We do have other videos on digital twins, but can you just give us a short explanation of what it is for people who are watching?
So the digital twin, it is actually a kind of very general concept from industry. It is trying to build a kind of very high, accurate replica of the physical space. Yeah, and then you virtually can simulate everything within this digital twin and to understand, for example, the insights of certain scenario change. And then with that understanding, you can try to say how to reduce my downtime, how to optimize the output of certain product or certain process.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now we're talking about plants. How large is your model for this digital twin?
The soil plant digital twin is building on our in-house model developed in Water Resources Department. It includes two parts. One is soil model stimulus I developed during my PhD. Another one is the scope model, which is the vegetation model developed by Christian van der Tol and also with Bob and other colleagues. So what we are doing now is coupling this soil model with a plant model. Then you have kind of a continuum of the soil plant system. You can do it at the point scale, but you can also upscale it to regional and continental scale. But the problem comes here is the computational cost, because it's a physically based process model. It takes a lot of computer hours. And for example, at the beginning, when we run this STEMscope model, it takes half hour more time for 1 month simulation. And then if you want to, and that is just for one point, one location. And if you want to do it regional and also global, then the computational cost is increasingly large. Yeah, I had a very brief calculation. So if you want to use STEMscope at the original version to run it for global scale at 1 kilometer for 1 year, it takes like 30,000 years to finish the calculation. So you really need high performance computing. And this is also one of big, let's say, support and also one of the, let's say, facility the digital twin can offer. Because if you have this digital infrastructure, digital facility to support such kind of model running at the global scale, then you really can visualize the output in a very short time, in a very near real-time manner. And that is something can help the end users to understand what is happening to my soil plant system. So when there's a drought, when there's extreme heat events, then you want to see what's the potential impact on that. And then using this soil plant digital twin, you can basically predict and trying to see how it looks like.
Okay. Now you touched on the subject of the end user. Do you have that in mind already when you?
Yes, we collaborating with the Farmer Association in the Netherlands, LTO Netherlands, and also we have collaboration with the crop farming system farmers. For example, the traditional farmers, they are doing annual crop, but we're also working with innovative farmers. For example, they are developing this food forestry, so they call it the voedselbos in Dutch. It's kind of a concept like you plant at the beginning with very a lot of details in terms of considering what kind of species you want to plant, and then arrange the food forestry in a manner can give you different food across the year. For example, in the spring you can get some fruit, and then in the summer you can get some nuts, or in autumn you can get some nuts, and then across the year you have a different type of food offered by the forestry. And this is kind of innovative farming, and they are also part of our let's say end users, because we are collaborating with them in a Wonder project, in Eco Extreme Mail project. And for those projects, we are going to show those farmers how the soil plant digital twin can help them to see the impact of the climate on the production, but also to see how to improve their management of water irrigation, for example, soil management, how to manage those practices to improve the production. So this is the aim of the soil plant digital twin.
Okay. And this is something that they can use, for instance, to predict, or is it something more real time?
You can use it as kind of, at a different level. You can use it to understand the past impact of the past events. So for example, for 2018, there's a drought event, 2019, 2020 as well. And then you basically can use the soil plant system, or let's say soil plant digital twin, to simulate and what already happened in the past. And at the same time, if you have the forecast data from the weather model, then you can also do prediction. So you can see if, for example, in 2 weeks, there's a severe drought event, then you can already using this soil plant digital twin to predict what kind of impact on the plant productivity, and then you can try to use certain adaptation measures or mitigation measures, trying to make the soil plant system more resilient to the climate extremes.
One of the good news we heard last week is that you became a chair of the International Soil
Modeling Consortium.
Modeling Consortium.
Yes.
How does that impact your research, and how does that impact what we do at ATC?
Thanks a lot for mentioning that point. It does not impact what I'm doing, because that is what I'm doing. It is International Soil Modeling Consortium. So with a group of top soil scientists, we are working on different components of the soil modeling. So this including like soil water heat transport, but also linked to crop modeling, and then also to root modeling. So it is actually representing different components of this soil plant digital twin. And I specifically mentioned the soil digital twin in that interview. The main reason is because the EU, European Union, has this new soil strategy 2030, and then they aim to have healthy soil in 2050. And that is the area.
Because the soil is not healthy at the moment?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think there's plenty of room to improve. It is estimated by European EEA, European Environment Agency, saying 60 to 70% of soil in Europe currently is not healthy enough. But of course, you can improve it, by increasingly carbon sequestration, increasingly soil biodiversity. But how do you know that? You need certain indicators, and where you can get those indicators, you basically need soil modeling, because some of the processes you can measure, but you cannot measure everywhere, and you need a certain digital twin to help you to understand the full picture. So, but of course, the in situ data and the soil sampling are very important, because this is kind of parallelly helping each other. Soil modeling, development need in situ data, and then to explain the physical processes behind those observations, behind those data, you need soil models.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for this interview.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to be a GeoHero as well? Then take the first step and click the subscribe button and then the bell button to always be the first to know when one of our GeoHeroes posts a new video.